This video is about trig equations in the past IB exam. 5a. Consider the equation. This x greater than 0 less than pi over 2, given that sin pi over 12 equals the square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4, and a cosine pi over 12 equals the square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over 4. Verify that x equals pi over 12 is a solution to the equation. For the 5a, if we want to verify x equals pi over 12 is a solution to the equation, we just need to plug in x equals pi over 12 to this equation. So we have square root of 3 minus 1 over sin pi over 12 plus square root of 3 plus 1 over cosine pi over 12. We need to figure out the answer is 4 square root of 2. We do know sin pi over 12 is given, this one. So we keep plugging square root of 3 minus 1, square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4 plus square root of 3 plus 1, square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over 4. We notice that square root of 6 minus square root of 2 equals, take square root of 2 outside, we will get square root of 3 minus 1. And square root of 6 plus square root of 2 equals square root of 2 times square root of 3 plus 1. Complex fraction rules, we get 4 times square root of 3 minus 1. Square root of 6 minus square root of 2, we can change into square root of 2 times square root of 3 minus 1 plus 4 times square root of 3 plus 1 and square root of 2 times square root of 3 plus 1. Then reduce. You will get 4 square root of 2 plus 4 square root of 2. That is 8 square root of 2. We do know 1 over square root of 2. That is square root of 2 over 2. So we get 8 times square root of 2 over 2. Reduce equals 4 square root of 2. So we already verified that x equals pi over 12 is a solution to the equation. Now let's go to 5b. Hence, find the other solution to the equation for x greater than 0 less than pi over 2. Let's go back to the equation. We have square root of 3 minus 1 over sin x plus square root of 3 plus 1 cosine x equals 4 square root of 2. First of all, we will work out this addition of a fraction. So we have sin x cosine x as a denominator, cross multiply. You will get square root of 3 minus 1 times cosine x plus square root of 3 plus 1 times sin x equals 4 square root of 2. Then we do cross multiply. You get square root of 3 minus 1 cosine x plus square root of 3 plus 1 sin x equals 4 square root of 2 sin x cosine x. We already know this sine x cosine x is 1/2 sine 2x. So we get the equation on the right side, that is 2 square root of 2 sine 2x. And this part, we got square root of 3 minus 1 cosine x plus square root of 3 plus 1, then sine x. Since we get this sine 2x, we will consider, can we change the equation into sine mx equals sine nx form. So we divide it by 2 square root of 2. See what's gonna happen. Let's simplify this. 1 over 2 square root of 2. That is square root of 2 over 4. So we will get square root of 3 minus 1 times square root of 2 over 4. That is square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4. So we get square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4 cosine x plus, same thing, we will get square root of 6 plus square root of 2 over 4 sine x equals sine 2x. That is a sine pi over 12 cosine x. This is a cosine pi over 12, so plus cosine pi over 12 sine x equals sine 2x. Now we have SC plus CS form. That is a sine pi over 12 plus x equals sine 2x. Since this is a positive, it will go to the first and the second quadrant. So if this is alpha, this will be pi minus alpha. So we can rewrite sine 2x as a sine pi minus 2x. Get these two equations. Sine pi over 12 plus x equals sine 2x. This is the first equation. Second equation, you will get sine pi over 12 plus x equals sine pi minus 2x. So that we have pi over 12 plus x equals 2x. And pi over 12 plus x equals pi minus 2x. We solve this one, we can get the x equals pi over 12. Then we need to move all x on one side. Then constant number the other side. You will get 3x equals pi minus pi over 12. We want to put this together. You will get denominator is 12, cross multiply. 12 pi minus pi. You will get 11 pi. 3x equals 11 pi over 12. Then we divide it by 3. Your denominator multiplied by 3, 36. 11 pi over 36 will be the other solution. Let's go to question 6. Solve the equation sine 2x minus cosine 2x equals 1 plus sine x minus cosine x. For x, it's in the closed interval from negative pi to pi. This is a given formula. You really need to know the following twisted form. 1 plus cosine 2 theta equals 2 cosine squared theta. 1 minus cosine 2 theta equals 2 sine squared theta. For sine 2 theta, you need to know sine theta times cosine theta equals 1/2 of sine 2 theta. And also 1 plus or minus sine 2 theta equals cosine theta plus sine theta squared. For the equation, we write down sine 2x minus cosine 2x equals 1 plus sine x minus cosine x. For this sine 2x, no doubt we will change into 2 sine x cosine x. We need to put this cosine 2x and 1 together so that we can use either this form or this form. We will move 1 to the left side, so we have a negative cosine 2x minus 1 equals sine x minus cosine x. Keep going, 2 sine x cosine x minus, we will change into 1 plus cosine 2x equals sine x minus cosine x. So for this, we will change into 2 cosine square x equals sine x minus cosine x. We will consider this is a quadratic pattern equation, so we need to get equal 0. And also, we will get common factor for these two. That is 2 cosine x, sine x minus cosine x, then minus sine x plus cosine x equals 0. We could say it's possible to make sine x minus cosine x as a common factor. Therefore, we will do 2 cosine x, sine x minus cosine x, minus parentheses, sine x minus cosine x. Because we take a negative 1 outside, so you get 0. This time, you could say sine x minus cosine x as a common factor. So you get sine x minus cosine x times 2 cosine x minus 1 equals 0. We get sine x minus cosine x equals 0, or 2 cosine x minus 1 equals 0. For this one, we have sine x equals cosine x. Then we divide it by cosine x both sides. You will get tangent x equals 1. Since tangent x equals 1, this is a positive. It will go to first and a third quadrant. Reference angle is 45 degrees, that is pi over 4. Let's go to this equation. We will get cosine x equals 1 over 2. It goes to first and a fourth quadrant. Reference angle is 60 degrees, that is pi over 3. Check the given domain, that is x is greater than equal to negative pi, less than equal to pi. So we draw this diagram. This will be 0, here's pi. We start at 0, ending at pi. Then for negative, from 0 to negative pi, start at 0, ending at negative pi. Let's write down the pattern for the first, third, and fourth quadrant. we have a pi over n, negative pi over n. And for the third quadrant, you have a negative n plus 1 pi over n. Therefore, when n equals 4, in the first and then the third quadrant, x equals pi over 4 and negative 3 pi over 4. For this equation, the first quadrant angle, that will be pi over 3 because n equals 3. And for the fourth quadrant, it will be negative pi over 3. We have 4 solutions to this equation.